So I grew up in the church. My dad's a pastor, and literally I spent more time in church than anywhere else in my life. And if I'm honest, I grew up having kind of a sour attitude towards church. And I think that one of the reasons was I met people who acted like they were perfect, and then I found out, through my dad and through kind of being able to see behind the scenes that their lives weren't perfect. And I encountered people at church that had bad attitudes, that were judgmental, and I just felt uncomfortable. It was weird because I grew up going to church. I grew up being somebody who others kind of looked to and put in a certain light because I was a pastor's kid, and it was hard in a weird way because I got to a place where I didn't know if I wanted to go to church anymore. I didn't know if I wanted to be a part of that life because I encountered so many attitudes and so many actions that I just didn't seem to understand. A lot of young people end up leaving the church at some point in their life because not because of the message of faith, love, forgiveness, hope, all these things, but because they meet people who don't communicate that message and they see a disconnect. They see, they hear the message, but then they see people that aren't really believing it. And so I, as an adult, came back to the church and fully committed to the church because I made a decision and I made an observation as well, an observation before the decision, really. And the observation was that the church is full of imperfect people, and that these people are all on their own journey. And some of those people are progressing on their journey. They're getting better, they're working on their lives. And some people aren't. Some people stopped working on their journey. Some people stopped progressing. And I had to understand that has nothing to do with me and God. That has nothing to do with me and the church. That has to do with them. That's their issue. So if they have a bad attitude, or if they're judgy, or make me feel uncomfortable, then I just have to let that go because that's something that they're dealing with. That's an insecurity that they're worried about. And I had to make that distinction. And at some point, I had to decide that I'm on my own journey and I'm progressing and I'm getting a better understanding of who God is, and I'm getting a better understanding of what the church is here for, and that we're here to love each other and help each other and have grace that we receive, but also grace that we give each other. And so at one point, I just decided to focus on my own journey. So there's two things that I want you to see here, okay? Two thoughts that you can take with you and think these through yourself, okay? I don't want you to just hear what I say and say, yes, I agree with that, but I want you to really think these things through. So the first thing is I want you to train yourself, start training yourself to see past the imperfections of others. It's hard to do that, but you just have to ignore it a little bit when people are rude or if people make you feel a certain way. You have to be able to walk away from those people and understand that they're on their own journey. But the second thing is I want you to realize that your journey can be so much easier if you focus on your own progress instead of the progress of others or the lack of progress of others. Focus on your walk. You're there. I see church as it's very similar to me as going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you work out. You're not in the best shape sometimes when you go to the gym, right? And that's why you're there, though. You're there to get better. And I think that church is that way. It's like a workshop or a gym where you go to work on your own life and not to worry about what other people are doing or saying or what they're wearing, all those things. I think that God would not be happy with people if they made you feel that way, but at the same time, it's your responsibility to choose not to worry about what they think. It's your responsibility to focus on why you're there. And so I would encourage you to get involved in church, even if it's online, if that's a good place to start. But eventually just walk into the building. The restrictions are starting to lift and we have opportunities to come. And so I just encourage you to do that. There's a verse that sticks out to me. It's Matthew 11:28-30. It says, "Come to me." This is Jesus speaking. So I like to listen to the words of Jesus. It says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart. And you'll find rest for your souls when you come to him," right? You'll find rest for your souls. And he says, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And that's Jesus speaking. He's saying, hey, it's easy to walk with me. It's not hard. And so don't worry about what other people are thinking. Don't worry about what other people are doing or saying. Just focus on your own walk and your own life, and focus on progress. And so that's my message for today. I love you guys. I'm always praying for you guys, and I'm a work in progress as well. I've come to a place where I understand that, and I'm constantly trying to improve, and I'm constantly trying to get better. But ultimately, I'm a work in progress too. So I might say something that you don't like, and I might have a bad attitude or whatever too if you see me on the street, and I feel bad for that. I'm sorry for that. But please understand that I'm a work in progress too. So we're in this together. So love you guys.